Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Christelle Martinette, and I just wanted to give you an idea of what I'm doing for these readings, the 2016 highlights, and an overview of January. I have here 3 decks and the Virgo decks. I'll be taking the Neapolitans as well, should I need that. And the first deck is the Casanova deck. The second deck is what the Italians call the universal deck. In essence, it's an artistic version of the Rider-Waite with the writing in Italian. And the last deck is the Alexander Egorov Golden Edition Tarot. Now, and of course, this is the Virgo cards, and as you can see, this is a very brilliant version, a very bright artistic version of the Virgo smaller cards, and they'll be new for the new year. New. Okay, now I'm going to take 3 areas: sex and love, friends and extended family, and finance or activity. Of course, as you know, you ask questions and the tarot will tell you other things. For example, with the Casanova deck, I'm aiming for sex and love. With the Rider-Waite, friends and extended family, and with the Alexander Egorov tarot deck for the finances. However, I have found that especially these 2, the Rider-Waite and the Egorov, mix and match. So when that is the case, we'll talk about that. And then I take 3 cards, 1 from each deck, for the month of January specifically, and highlight with the Virgo and, if I need it, the Neapolitan deck. So here we go. Hello, Virgo. I'm here with this projection, and I've pre-shuffled all of my decks as mentioned. So what I'm going to do is save time on the video length and just fan out the cards and pull 3 cards from the Casanova deck, 3 cards from this universal tarot deck, Italian style, which is the Rider-Waite, and 3 cards from the Egorov Tarot, this Golden Edition, Now, where to start? I'm going to start at the beginning with this Casanova. Now, this is the sex and love. This is the love, the emotional side to your story. What do we have? We have the Ace of Swords. We have the Justice card. And we have the 4 of Pentacles. Now, there are many stories here, and I'll see if I can get all of them out. Definitely the year of 2016 marks for you a moment of clarity. And with that you seek out, definitely that you seek out. And you will finally get the clarity, okay? Now, what it will lead to, this notion of clarity, whatever it could mean. Clarity on a relationship that just didn't go well. Clarity on a person that you hoped to have in your life but who has not come yet into your life. Clarity but then shows up. Clarity in terms of, what does love mean for me? What is love? Is love meaning being 2 by 2, like Noah's Ark, and pairing up? Is love everywhere in the crystals? Is love in the candles? Is love in the cards? What is love? This is going to be clarity for you, finally, in the year 2016. Now, where it leads in this deck, the Four of Coins, I'm reading it now as a complement to the other cards, is the notion that there is a moment when we no longer look above spiritually, when we are reminded that we're incarnated for a reason, and when we have to contend with what it means actually to put bread on the table and pay our bills. That is an underlying theme for you the entire year. Now, these two reconcile themselves. They are, you're asking, what role does love have in my daily life? What role does love have? Once I understand it, we never understand what love truly is, clearly. What is it? And what role does it play in my everyday life? How can I reconcile these two, this abstract and the practical, in what we call life, in our incarnated soul? What is that? Okay, this is the theme for 2016, and those are the questions you're asking yourselves. The extended family and friends, and your immediate family. We have here the Seven of Cups, the Wheel, and the Six of Cups. It's very cute to see this progression, the 6 and the 7. And backwards, 7, 6, this is the way they've come out. And with the Wheel of Fortune, in the year 2016, there is, I want to say, an abundance of suitors for you. And I'm going to underline that abundance. So much so that you don't know where to look or what to choose. And the scales of the Justice card we saw before tip in your favor, with the Wheel moving towards a person, a special person in your life, a person who you really highly regard, a person who you've dreamt about, who you have fantasized about, who you've actually thought about with your feet on the ground as well. You have that person in your mind, in flesh and blood. And this is the time that the wheel turns in your favor. And that's a great message for you. Finance, your livelihood, hobbies. We have the Ten of Wands. We have the Sun Genius, and lo and behold, what is the Sun Genius? The Sun Genius is temperance in the other tarot decks. It acts in the same way, except in this deck, it is the internal movement of universe, and you looking at those movements, being reminded of the outward life. And we have the science in this deck, the science. It's likened to the High Priestess, but it's called the science. And the science is next to and paired with the eternal movement of the universe. All right, now this speaks to an outward life that has so much to do with your life on this earth. The Ten of Wands, it is a burden. This movement of the universe, eternal movement, and the High Priestess are telling you that the load is lightened once you can accept that the outer world moves us, the outer world conditions us to some degree, and our choices also have consequences that are moved in these areas, in these domains. We said it was the domain of finance. Those burdens in 2016 have not gone away. You still have to pay your bills. You still have to make amends. You have, you have to make corrections for the wrong choices you've made in 2015. They are burdensome for many of you, and answers will come from those movements of the universe, that eternal movement. This tells us that if you don't want to continue that burden, you need to make proper choices. unless you're willing to accept the burdens as they are, unless you don't want that change. It's inevitable, though, the change with the eternal movement of the universe. And of course, the science is also saying, what is science? All right, what is science? Usually and it's so lovely how Egorov put science as the second major arcana in the form of the high priestess. This is the true science. The spiritual realm is the true science for you, Virgo, and your burdens. It's as if they're telling me that through spirituality, you're going to be able to solve all your financial issues. Let's take that as given. Now I'm going to take one card from each deck for the month of January. Okay, now we have another Seven of Cups. How do you like that? We've got another Seven of Cups. Interesting. All right, we've got the Knight of Swords, this Knight of Swords, the Devil, and the Seven of Cups. Now, this is January, remember. This is heading off the year. And this is talking about the windmills of your mind turning and turning and turning and turning. You need to make them stop. Remember that the universe turns without you, and that's where the movements lie. You need to relax. The Seven of Cups, the overabundance of choices, that is in your hands. You just have to choose. You just have to think. You just have to try. This is telling you that we can put to rest our mind when we just take action. Take action, one step, another step, and another step. And of course, there's this Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Swords is a knight that in other decks goes charging in. In this deck, it's commanding the truth. In January, we want to put a stop to not knowing. It's as if your mind is working overtime to try to understand something that maybe you cannot, and you are maybe poised not to know. Let's take the Virasibila on this. I have, I'm going to take them over the Devil specifically. Okay, that Devil is talking about your finances, and you're getting to grips with, all right, there's the safe, there's the cat, and there's the Giovanna Fanciulla, which is like a virgin, and over the Devil. And they're talking about your finances and how you're, if you have to make your mind move and the windmills of your mind turn, try to make it work for how to make your work for you. And as I said, it's all about spirituality. Making spirituality work for you. And this Giovane Fanciulla, this giovine, as the word goes in ancient Italian form, talks about both being at the beginning of these types of endeavors and at the same time having virgin-like characteristics. And because of that, being prone to change in good and bad, in a positive and a negative sense. Now, since the finances talk to earth signs and keeping your feet on the ground, Virgos know what that's all about. Virgos have difficulty with change. It's mirroring the change. Since you are at the beginning, a virgin, let's call it that way, they're inviting you, these cards, to embrace change. Pena, meaning. Otherwise, you're going to be tricked. You're going to be falling in your own traps. Embrace the change and reap the rewards. Ladies and gentlemen, Virgo, it was an honor for me to read for you. Thank you so much for your support in the year 2005. I'm really pleased to be able to say that I'm among friends. And I do wish you a wonderful 2016 January and a happy new year. Ladies and gentlemen, Virgo, bye-bye till we read again.